What's going on, folks? Hope you're having a wonderful night or day. Welcome back to some Quinfall. As always, today we're going to be talking about a patch that happened earlier this morning. One that was quite a good one, in fact, at least in my opinion. It was one that added a little bit more layering to the anti-cheat, also changed up the dynamic around the naval system, and also included some server merges. I thought when I woke up I'd still have time to cover it before it went live, but it looks like they actually went a little bit early this time around. So as you're probably aware, the second servers for each region, Asia, Europe, and America, have been merged into their main ones. This is something they told us they were going to do back when the servers were first announced, but it is possible that some people may have forgotten or maybe just didn't think that they would be doing them this soon, or that there might be potential issues to come along with it. So to start with, the patch starts off with some general changes. The portals providing access to the Forbidden Swamp have been removed, meaning when you go to the map and you go to the northeastern region that's not supposed to be available yet, this one here, there's going to be a blue wall, but if you go towards it, there's actually a portal that you can teleport to on the other side and get to this area so that you can actually explore it. Now, this is something that's been going on pretty much since the start of the game. People have been exploring that region, and the northwestern area does not have a portal that you can utilize in that way. However, if you're not familiar with what these regions are, back during CBT2, it was possible for you to choose your own starting location, so you could choose to start between, I think it was the desert is one of them, and then you had meadow, and then you had the snow-based area, and then you had the swamp. So they took that out, and now whenever we start the game, at least at the moment, we start around north of meadow. So they're going to be reincorporating that at some point and allowing players to choose where their starting zones are going to be. So when these areas open, I don't think they're going to actually have in-game zones in them. They may, they may have G zones, since we have G zones in, the desert and this area as well. But it's possible that they will also be starting locations too. They also changed up the material decay. So when it comes to altars and ships, the decay for both of those has been cut in half, which is a really good change because that was a common complaint, especially on the altar side, that it was very expensive to upkeep them past a certain point because as you added more materials into them, it started costing more material-wise to upkeep them. Another thing they changed is that the ship decay system now only applies to the interior objects. By the way, yes, I'm reading this while PvPing. The ship hull decay has been removed, which is another big change, but not as big as the last one, which is ships can now be repaired and recalled at the harbor after being destroyed. If a caravan package is on board at the time of destruction, it'll drop into the water. No other ship content will be lost, meaning your cannons or your cannonballs. Ship production requirements have also been increased, which I've heard they pretty much doubled. So right now it costs double the materials to actually build those ships, and if you haven't already done so, you should probably get on farming it before the resources to make them increases by an even bigger margin. The problem, though, is that right now, sorry, hold on. Shit! I was trying to get crossed so bad. There's probably even more people trying to buy this stuff from the broker. I just went ahead and finished up with the PvP so I could actually show you. Last night, the acacia wood that you need, the high quality one, was selling for about 250k, for example. And right now it's up to about 300, 350. So as you can see, the prices have gone way up since this update, and it's probably going to get a little bit more expensive. I think if you are interested in making money, right now could be a really good time to jump into woodcutting because there's a lot of money to go around at the moment. Because a lot of people are going to be wanting to build their ships, and there's going to be more people on the water now that you permanently don't lose your ship whenever it gets destroyed. So it could be lucrative to do for the time being. The next section includes party system updates. This one was really cool. So the first one is that party weapon XP and pet XP will now be evenly distributed among the party members instead of being granted to the player landing the final blow. Now, before this update, just the mob XP was being split between the party members regardless, but the weapon XP and I guess pet XP was not. Some people were noticing mixed results, and some people were only noticing that the final person to hit the mob was getting the weapon XP. So it looks like this now definitively gets split between all players, which is really cool to see. The party drop system, now this one was interesting. The party drop system now randomly selects a party member to receive the loot instead of the player delivering the final blow. What this means is you're basically forced into a round robin, which is very interesting, although I kind of hope at the same time that they will incorporate loot settings in the future to also let us choose how it was before, for example, because some people may prefer it to be on the last hit or even maybe master looter, who knows. But the last one was that party XP and random drop gains are now limited to 150 meter radius, which I did actually notice occasionally. Like if I was in a party after being done with the world boss, the people in my party might still get some of the XP even if they were far away from me. The next section dealt with bug fixes. The first one fixed an issue where cloth pieces on armor and costumes were invisible in close-up camera angles. The second one fixed an issue where required materials for clan altar upgrades would not appear in certain situations. Daily rewards will no longer reset when a day is missed. Didn't know that was happening, oh crap. The fourth one fixed an issue where the other buy order list would not appear in the central market. And the last one is where global wind direction and intensity would not function in certain cases. They also made an update to the anti-cheat, so additional server-side measures have been implemented to detect and prevent identified cheats. They have continued development on client-side anti-cheat solutions. There's a new storage system that ties into the server merges. It's called the external storage, and actually I'll go to the bank real quick and show you. Now what this does, as per the description, is the external storage has been added to storage NPCs for special event rewards and specific system items. Items placed in the external storage by the system can be transferred to your inventory or regular storage, but players cannot manually place items into it. Now, they dive a little bit into this soon, but one thing I'm also hoping that this does is that whenever your house lease expires, like your rented house, I'm hoping that the items you had inside of it go in here, because I've heard that right now, or at least before this update, that's how it was where you'd lose the stuff in your rented house if you let the lease expire. Also, if you had something on the broker and the sell order expired, but your storage was full, I heard you lost items in that scenario too. But the next one talks about server merges, so Europe 2, America 2, and Asia 2 have been merged into their respective regional servers. The exceptions section is next, starting off with the character name conflict, so both characters with the same names have been granted a name change option when it comes to the server merges. If there's altar conflicts, although there have been some issues here, all materials used and structures and items within conflicting areas have been transferred to the external storage. This applies to both individual and clan altars. I'm not sure how many people this happened to, but I did see earlier somebody talk about in Discord how their area in server 1 was actually clear, but it still didn't bring their altar over. There's also storage merges, so if two storage units from the same player were merged and exceeded capacity, excess items are transferred into the individual external storage. Character slot adjustments were also made, so when merging characters from different accounts of the same player, additional character slots were provided to accommodate the total number of merged characters, which means I think if you had more characters on server 2 than you have available slots on server 1 when everything's combined, they'd give you additional character slots. And the last thing, it wasn't a super big patch, was account data merges, where account level data such as V-coins, tokens, achievements, and titles have been merged into existing accounts where applicable. So of course that's going to be all for now as far as this update goes. The two biggest things have been the general changes and the party system changes, where we're now going to start seeing a lot more people on the ocean. We're going to start seeing a lot more people wanting to build boats. And then of course with the party system updates, we're going to have to see how that impacts the player grinding. I think players will continue to solo farm for the most part, but this actually may help in terms of at least dungeons, or maybe persuading people more to try it. But I do think one last change that probably needs to be made for this is increasing the experience of the party-based mobs. But other than that, folks, please let me know what you thought about this update in the comments below. Have a wonderful night or day. I'll catch you next time.